Encanto is Disney's 60th animated film. Encanto has several meanings, but the true message of Encanto is that gifts fall from the sky with no explanation, while people still need to work hard and be exceptional to continue to deserve them. Today we talk about an extraordinary family, the Madrigals, who live hidden in the mountains of Colombia in a magical house called an Encanto. The magic of the Encanto has blessed every child in the family with a unique gift. Just like super strength, to the power to heal everyone except one Mirabel. But when she discovers that the magic surrounding the Encanto is in danger, Mirabel understands that she is the only ordinary Madrigal girl who saves the people of Encanto. The story will now revolve around Mirabel. The film starts in Colombia, where Alma Madrigal is telling her granddaughter Mirabel the story about how their family came to be here. Many years ago, Alma was once married to a man named Pedro, and they had 3 children, but they had to flee their home due to the conquistadors. Pedro was killed while protecting his family, but from the tragedy, the candle that Alma carried with her becomes magical and creates a sentient house named Casita for the Madrigals. 50 years later, a village grows protected by the Casita, and members of the Madrigal family are gifted superhuman abilities they use to help the villagers. Magical candles granted gifts to each Madrigal descendant at the age of 5, which they used to serve the villagers. This magic passed to all generations of Alma. Today is the day of Mirabel's gift ceremony, where she will see what her special power will be. The little girl reaches for the doorknob. After that scene, the movie jumps to the present, where Mirabel helps her family get ready because her little cousin Antonio is set for his gift ceremony. Outside the house, a bunch of kids come by the casita to ask Mirabel about her magic gift from the family. She explains her family story, the Madrigal family. Firstly, she tells about her mother named Julieta. Her mother has the power to heal people with her food, and she is married to Augustine. Mirabel has 2 sisters. The first is Luisa, who has super strength, and the second one is Isabella, the perfect sister who can make flowers bloom anywhere. Her Aunt Pepa is married to Felix, and she has the power to manipulate the weather based on her emotions. They have their kids, Dolores, who can hear everything from any distance, Camilo, who can shapeshift, and Antonio. Julieta and Pepa also have a brother, Bruno, who has the gift of seeing the future, and of course, Bruno is the uncle of Mirabel, but he is an outcast, and the family doesn't like to talk about him. However, despite Mirabel trying to dodge the kids' questions about her gift, her sister Dolores says that Mirabel never got a gift, and no one knows why. She acts like it doesn't bother her, but deep down it does. Mirabel gives Antonio a gift before the ceremony of a stuffed tiger, since he is an animal lover. The family later gathers as Antonio takes his steps to his door, and he touches the doorknob. After that, the door glows, and a toucan perches itself on Antonio's arm, which means he has given the gift of talking to animals. Mirabel sadly walks away by herself as she remembers the day of her gift ceremony and how the door simply disappeared when she didn't get a gift, and she wishes she could be as special as the rest of the family. Suddenly, a ceiling tile falls, and the floor tiles begin to crack. The candle also appears to be fizzling out, despite Alma telling Mirabel that it never goes out. Mirabel goes to alert the family, but when they go back, everything looks undamaged, and they just think Mirabel is trying to cause a fuss for no reason. Mirabel, resolving to save the magic of the casita, goes around to investigate and question her family members. The next day, Mirabel tries to ask Dolores if she heard anything suspicious. Dolores tries to dodge any suspicious talk, but she does tell Mirabel that she could hear Luisa's eye twitching. The family is gathering because a neighboring suitor, Mariana Guzman, wants to court and marry Isabella, although Mirabel tries to get Luisa's attention. Alma continues to believe Mirabel is just trying to get attention. Mirabel then follows Luisa as she goes about her village duties. She acts like everything is fine, since she is super strong. Luisa hugs Mirabel and admits she feels physically weak after Mirabel mentioned the cracks in the casita. Luisa tells her to go to Bruno Tower back home to find more answers. Mirabel sneaks into Bruno's room where the magic of the casita cannot help her. After climbing a tall staircase, she comes across a cave of sorts, where she finds broken shards of one of Bruno's visions. She puts the pieces together and sees an image of herself. After that, the cave begins to collapse, so Mirabel grabs all the shards and runs out of the room before she becomes trapped. While in her room, Mirabel finds Auntie Peppa getting the last of Antonio's belongings. But the stress of the current situation makes a rain cloud from over her head. Mirabel tries asking about Bruno, but both Peppa and her husband Felix, as well as the rest of the family, and even the people, refuse to discuss the man. They don't talk about Bruno. Every time he had a vision, it would come true and bring negative consequences to everyone. Mirabel reassembles the tablet and sees a picture of herself with Casita cracking behind her. Right after that, Agustin, Mirabel's father and Giulietta's husband, catches Mirabel with the reassembled tablet behind her. He warns Mirabel to keep the discovery a secret, but they are overheard by Pippa's oldest daughter, Dolores, who possesses the gift of superhuman hearing. Later that evening, Mirabel, Luisa, and Isabella, who can make plants and flowers grow at will, is scheduled to be engaged to the Madrigal's neighbor Mariano Guzman. Amidst Mariano's proposal, an awkward dinner, and Dolores' inability to keep the secret, everyone learns about Mirabel's discovery. Casita begins to crack again, and everyone starts to lose control of their gifts. A furious Isabella admonishes Mirabel as she leaves, and Alma angrily assures the townspeople that the house and the family are not harmed. Amidst the chaos, Mirabel follows a group of rats carrying the pieces of the tablet and discovers a secret passage behind a portrait where she finds Bruno. Bruno reveals he never left the house and that the vision he had alternates between Mirabel saving Casita and destroying it, leading him to believe she is the key to the fate of Casita's magic. Not wanting Mirabel to be hurt, he broke the vision's tablet, the same one which Mirabel reassembled earlier, and isolated himself. At Mirabel's insistence, Bruno reluctantly conjures another vision that at first resembles the previous one, but then depicts Mirabel embracing Isabella, with whom Mirabel has a strained relationship, and strengthening the candle. Mirabel reluctantly apologizes to Isabella, who angrily confesses she does not want to marry Mariano and is burdened by her image of perfection. After accidentally creating a cactus, which she finds beautiful despite it being asymmetrical, Isabella realizes that she does not need to be perfect. Mirabel then helps Isabella use her powers more freely and they embrace. However, a concerned Alma arrives at Casita, having witnessed the whole situation from the village square. When Mirabel attempts to explain her findings, Alma becomes enraged and lashes out at Mirabel, accusing her of causing the family's misfortunes out of spite for not having a gift. Finally fed up with her grandmother's treatment of her, Mirabel calls out Alma for her unreasonable expectations, saying that no one is good enough for her and that she is the reason for the miracles fading. Before a stunned and horrified Alma can react, a fissure splits the nearby mountain and demolishes Casita as the candle extinguishes, leaving the Madrigals powerless. The family members raced to save the candle, but their power was fading. The candle went out and all the magic of Casita was gone. Heartbroken Mirabel runs away from the family. Everything is in chaos. Several hours later, Alma finds a tearful Mirabel sitting beside the river where Pedro was killed. Alma realizes she is so determined to preserve the magic that she ignores how her expectations are harming the family. Alma told Mirabel about that night long ago, how she had prayed for a moment miracle. The candle's bright light pushed back to the bad men, protecting her and her triplets' babies. Losing Pedro broke something inside Alma that no magic flame could ever repair. Since that day, Alma felt that if the family was strong enough and worked hard enough, she could protect them. But nowhere realized her broken heart had made her live in fear. Alma told her, "We were given a miracle because of you." They hugged each other. Bruno arrived at the river. Alma hugged him and said, "I feel like I missed something important." She expresses remorse for her actions, reconciles with Mirabel, and reunites with Bruno. The three return to the village and assemble the other Madrigals to rebuild Casita, with the townsfolk joining in. Everyone realized what made them truly special wasn't their power, it was their family bond. They all worked together to rebuild Casita. There was just one last piece of the house left, the doorknob. Mirabel installs a doorknob to the main door, restoring the family's gifts and reviving Casita. Casita came back to life, and Encanto's magic was restored. Mirabel and Bruno then joined the family for another photo, and at the last, Mirabel felt her worth and her family's love. The movie ends here.